5 winters have passed since Gorm the Old, the first known king to rule what would become Denmark, claimed the high seat at Jelling. In the great hall, firelight dances upon fur-lined walls, and the people gather to honor the winter solstice. Gorm now sits upon his carved throne, his bronze crown glinting in the firelight. His eyes do not dance with the flames, they weigh them, not as a reveler, but as a ruler. At his side sits Queen Thyra, a woman whose name would one day be carved in stone. Her voice cuts through the revelry.
You watch the celebrations, but do not join them, my husband.
A king must watch more than he celebrates.
But he must also be seen, especially now.
Gorm looks toward the emissary from the south, where another god rises in power. A god not honored by sacrifice, but by scripture.
The old ways, while Christian kingdoms grow stronger to our south, their priests speak of one God, one king, one true faith.
Are you questioning the gods of our ancestors?
Never. But I question how we keep our ways when others seek to change.
As the feast peaks, silence falls. The vulva enters, an aged seeress with clouded eyes and a voice that rustles like withered leaves.
Great Gorm, the gods grant you a vision.
Smoke rises from bones cast into fire, curling like runes around his throne.
I see Denmark at a crossroads. One path leads to glory under the old gods. The other...
She hesitates. Even the fire seems to be still.
Speak freely, wise one.
The other shows your line ruling a greater Denmark. But beneath a new sky, a new god.
Murmurs fill the hall.
Blasphemy! Our king is blessed by Odin himself!
But Gorm raises a hand.
The gods of our fathers made Denmark strong. We will honor them as we always have.
The dawn brings frost and the echo of change. Gorm walks the outskirts of Jelling with his rune master, the man charged with shaping memory into stone.
The land grows. More come each season, seeking not just safety, but unity.
And they bring their beliefs with them.
Gorm gestures to a clearing.
This is where the stones will stand.
To mark what, my king?
That here stood a king who held Denmark together under the old ways.
Even now, the name Danmark begins to appear in southern chronicles. Dan for the Danes, Mark for borderland. The Danes' frontier. Beneath frozen soil, thralls dig, and one day, Gorm will raise a runestone not for glory, but for grief, for Thyra.
Later, in their chamber, Thyra speaks with the merchant.
This man brings word that should concern us all.
King Gorm, the Saxons kneel to the White Christ. Their priests claim divine right even over Denmark.
And what has this new god given them?
Unity, purpose, power through belief.
He also speaks of trade, of alliances.
And of submission.
Their son, Harald, 12 and keen-eyed, enters.
If the Saxons have one god, who watches their harvests? Or sees?
Some believe one hand holds power better than many, among kings and gods.
That night, in the sacred grove, Gorm seeks answers, but the gods give only silence.
The omens are uncertain. The gods seem distant.
I have honored them all my life. Why would they turn away?
Perhaps it is not Denmark they question, but the road it walks.
Raiders! At the southern border! They bear Saxon crosses!
The village is buried in ash. The sacred sites were defiled, and among the dead was the Gothi who warned him.
They struck first at what we hold sacred. This was no accident.
And in whispered corners, perhaps their god is stronger than ours. The gods are not forgotten, but doubt now walks beside faith. In the hall of judgment, voices clash.
We must answer blood with blood!
Or lose more than lives, lose our future.
We rebuild. Those who follow Christ may do so. In peace.
You would allow it?
Denmark's strength lies not in one god or many, but in her people. If faith divides us, let loyalty unite us. Let them send their priests. They will find Danes unyielding in spirit, whatever gods we name.
The first stone rises in Jelling. It bears runes that will outlast the old gods.
What we build must speak to those unborn. And what will it say?
That Denmark stood strong. That its kings ruled not through fear, but through vision.
Thyra joins them, with young Harald beside her.
Will I raise stones too, father?
You will build in ways I cannot yet imagine.
As they turn to leave, the boy glances back, not at the stone, but toward a distant church steeple on the horizon.
He asks many questions about the Christ God.
Let him question. He will shape a kingdom that must know all its shadows.
Behind them, stone rose from soil. Ahead, a rider gallops fast.
King Gorm! Word from the north! Your son, Knut, gravely wounded!
And there, the old king faltered, not from faith, but from fear. Not of gods, but of loss.